Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I am Muhammad Ismail. I'm Egyptian originally, and I lived in Japan for almost like 9 years. I've studied engineering in Cairo University. After that, I studied Arabic language and Islamic studies in Cairo University as well, Darul Uloom faculty. And then I studied deeply in Hadith and Islamic studies and Arabic language in Mecca and Mukarrama. So this is like simply my educational background. And I would love to do da'wah and to convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to convey the truth for people. So we were traveling around Africa and Asia, and then we were finding Japan like a very, very unique place, and very, very few Muslims went there to convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I was excited to go and to convey the message of Allah, yes.
So yeah, we're done with the Japanese questions, but
Yeah.
I did want to ask you some more things
Yeah,
if
please.
you're open to it. And
Yeah.
this has got nothing to do with Japan now.
No problem.
So I just want your humble opinion
Okay.
and your advice on this.
No problem, please go ahead.
So now I want to focus on the people of Manchester and the
Yeah.
people of England.
Yes.
So as Muslims over here, when we're growing up, I myself, I was born in this country, raised in this
Mashallah.
country. Alhamdulillah, I'm now 31 years old, lived my whole life over here.
Okay, mashallah.
We have a lot of influences in our lives, so coming from the Western society, the Western cultures,
Yeah.
a lot of haram temptations. Sometimes, we fall for those temptations, we end up committing those sins, even though we
Yeah.
know what is happening and we know what Islam says.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you can give to us from your perspective on
Yeah.
how we should maybe handle these problems?
Okay. Well, my advice for myself and for everyone in Manchester or in the UK, that please, we have to understand that the shaitan, the devil, the Satan, he has two major gates, two major streams to attract people, to pull them, to take them to his path, to hellfire, wal'adu billah. These two major gates are, number one, ash-shahawat, desires, bad passions, lusts. Number two, ash-shubuhat, doubts, misconceptions. And definitely in such countries you will find both gates are totally opened and the streams are very strong, pulling people very, very heavily and strongly. So if you want to survive in such countries, alhamdulillah, you have freedom, alhamdulillah, you have a lot of wonderful blessings here. So if you are aware by these two gates, then you need strong iman, pure tawheed, pure faith. You need strong worships, strong connection with your Lord. Never miss it and never compromise about it. Your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if some of you still cannot give up some sins, keep your connections with Allah. Keep your salah, keep your ibadah, keep your portion from the Quran. This is strengthening your iman to be more strong against the rest of the desires, even if you are falling on one or two. But at least you can close the gates of 3, 4, 5, 6 of these haram gates from the desires and haram. So keeping the ibadah and the iman is very important. Second part, the second stream, how to close the gate of these misconceptions and doubts, you need to learn. You need to seek the knowledge. You need to have a lot of courses and to read and to attend the scholars' classes to know this doubt, how to reply it, how to answer this when it comes as a whisper from the Satan. When he tries to shake your iman in Allah, tries to shake your iman in the unseen, the hereafter, tries to shake your iman about your Lord, that He does not love you because of the problems or hardships or tribulations that you are facing. That is whispers from shaitan. You need to learn to be able to close these gates easily. When he tries to throw some misconceptions and doubts about women's rights, about polygamy, about futuhat, about the wars and so on and battles, how to reply, you need knowledge. You need knowledge. So by these two things, by seeking the Islamic knowledge properly from its authentic sources, from the authentic scholars, by having your connections with your Lord, keeping your iman pure and strong, and your worships and the portions of ibadah every day, inshallah, you will be on the truth. Inshallah, you will be on the right track. Inshallah, you will be a light for others in the darkness around you to be guided to the true path.
Inshallah. Right, so we're going to stick on the same topic, but I'm going to make this a lot harder for you now, yeah?
No problem.
So, a lot of times in this country, a problem we have is with Islamophobia.
Yeah.
Many times for young Muslim, and in particular Muslim men, they find it very, very difficult to find work, to find opportunities, to be able to succeed. Even sometimes coming to a point where they cannot afford food, they cannot afford to live. They have to claim benefits, and the benefits the government give is not enough. You cannot live on that money. So these people, they sometimes, with the influences that they have around them, the only choices they feel that they have are to sell drugs, to steal, to do fraud, to do these haram things. And this is a very, very common problem that happens in Manchester and in the UK. So for these people who are in these situations where, it's either sell cocaine or buy food, which one do you go for? For those people, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, well, my brother, look, it's never an excuse to fall into haram. It's never an excuse to harm others or to commit crimes or to commit sins or to have disobedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of circumstances around us. Here and in Muslim countries, everywhere, you'll find difficulties and hardships. If every time we say, because of these situations, because of the circumstances, I have to do this haram, I have to fall into this, then come on, you'll never be a righteous person. You have to struggle for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in a test. Life is a test. You cannot have it perfectly. You have to struggle, you have to find out solutions, but with the halal ways. Go to the masajid, ask their support. Definitely they will support you. Go to the specific organizations who can have connections to help you, to find a solution for you, a legal way for you, a halal job for you, but not to do haram, not to harm others, not to commit a crime. Wal'adu billah, selling drugs is one of the major sins. You're destroying people just to earn money. Come on. What you will say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's a big shame, brother, that this is happening from a Muslim person. Wallahi, it's a big shame. And definitely, it's making people to react badly towards Islam. It's increasing the gap between the Muslim community and the non-Muslim community. So definitely, we have to be on the best manners. Even wallahi, we will die out of starving, but we will not do haram. We have to make it very clear for ourselves. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not leave you if you fear Him, if you put Islam in priority, His obedience, His pleasure in priority. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you ease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open the gates of support for you from nowhere you could expect it. So, no need to think that that's an excuse at all. And these people, we should advise them softly and harshly. We should be very strict that this should stop. Because this is not from Islam, brother. This is a big problem. So, the rizq provision is never gained by haram ways. If you take it by haram way, it will be a big problem for you, in this life and in the hereafter. You will never have barakah. You will never feel comfortable. You will never have the inner peace by this. Even if you are a multi-billionaire, you will be so depressed and you know that you are doing something wrong. And in the hereafter, Allah musta'an, accountability is severe. So, I advise everyone and remind everyone, never think that's an excuse if you are into hardships. Even If the solution is to go to another country, seek the rizq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seek the provision in another place, the land of Allah is vast and wide. You can go, travel. Khalas. But don't commit haram, don't commit sins, don't do crimes because you think this is the only way I can do. No, it's not the only way. You can go another country. If this is like, you know, if you took by all means, you know, and it's totally dark and there is no any solution, khalas, go to another place. But don't do haram. Don't harm others.